bouncing around after the weekend, mate. It was a good win.
Yeah, we haven't seen the boys yet. We get in about an hour or so, but we'll go through our review today and then a bit of an Oppo preview for the week coming up. So we're keeping a lid on it. We know there's a lot of improvements in our team, and obviously the first quarter wasn't what we would expect on the weekend. They came out firing, but it's credit to the boys for bouncing back in the second quarter and the last half. So yeah, it's obviously a lot easier when you get a win. So no, we're happy.
Any ideas why you're slow out of the gate?
It's been inconsistent, I think, during the year. We've had some good first quarters. Last week we got off to a good start in Perth, winning that quarter against Fremantle. So it's just up and down a little bit. We focus on the process, and hopefully we can get that right this week against Collingwood.
A few times you've given up big starts, West Coast here, and I think one or two other matches, maybe Port. You start. Like, what gives you the belief to be able to still overrun teams when you're 4 or 5 goals down?
We know we're a pretty fit team. It's not ideal giving off those head starts, and I think against Collingwood we gave one as well, and they kind of put us to the sword. So we know we can score quick, and we play an exciting brand of footy, and I think we just had a belief in the second half that if we get thereabouts at half time, we're a good chance to win. So we just know about the process that we're putting in place, and our game style works for us in some cases. We've just got to tidy up a few things on defence.
Do you think the crowd had an impact on your comeback?
Definitely. No, we've been getting some good crowds. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot against Collingwood when we had a sold-out Gabba game. So we're trying to bring that respect back from the Brisbane public. But yeah, we're definitely enjoying getting the crowd in. I think we had 25,000, and the images look good from watching the Fox Sports replay. So we are enjoying the crowds, and it was pretty funny at our 3/4 time. I think it's been well documented that we had I think it was Ashgrove come down and do a award cry dance. I'm not too sure what it was, but it was pretty funny. I was trying to listen to Fags at the same time, and that was going on. So yeah, it was good.
You'll try and get that back again for home games in the future?
Yeah, I think it's a great concept. I'm not too sure what it was all about, but we definitely saw them in the crowd, and they were very loud and vocal. So that's a plus for us. I think one of the boys said they put him off on a goal kick at one stage. So they've got to pick and choose their times when they've got to do it. But no, it was really exciting to have them down, yeah.
It was Charlie's old school.
Yeah, it was. Charlie's old, I think it was Ashgrove. So he was up and about after the game talking him up. So he said they were all here to watch him play. So he was loving it.
Mate, and that's a rugby nursery, that school. I mean, John Eales' school and Matt Hayden's school. But I mean, for them to be out here in force supporting AFL, that's a big shift, isn't it?
It is, and I think it shows where we're going as a brand of Brisbane Lions. We've obviously had a lot of dark years in the past, and we're trying to rectify that and put on a bit of a show at the Gabba. And I think we won 5 out of 6 games here. So when the public come and watch a game, they're in for a treat. And in saying that, I think it's great for our club that you've got a rugby orientated school coming down to watch the boys and doing stuff on the oval. But I don't think they get to do that anywhere else. So. We're all for it, and we really enjoy it. Anyone coming down watching the game, we just want to put on a competitive performance.
Obviously facing Carlton this week, mate. I noticed something on your podcast a couple of weeks ago where you mentioned like when you cross that line, you would die for your mates, die for your club. Could you just explain, like to people who've never played at an AFL level, what that feeling's like? Yeah,
it's just the mentality. A lot of people call it white line fever. They can go for me and against me sometimes in the game. But it's just having the love for the club. Obviously, they gave me a second chance at my AFL career, so I really owe a lot to them. But it's been my feeling, even when I was at the Blues, I had the same feeling for them. And it's just one of those, I just mean by that I'm going to leave everything out there, and whatever happens on the field, for me, is what I'll try and play with a bit of pride and shows the respect for the club and the supporters. So I think it's a lot of mentality goes through the AFL. It's just something to me that's what I hang my hat on.
How do you put the misdemeanors behind you, Mitch? Fade said here about a month ago that your good outweighs your bad, but sometimes you can be a bit frustrating. The other night you gave away a free, but then a few minutes later you kicked the goal. Like, how do you put the indiscretions behind you to still have a positive impact?
I saw his comments after the game. I got tagged in on Twitter, so I saw that he finds it a way to coach me. He's a bit of kick up the bum and a pat on the back at the same time. So that's been a bit of a dent on my career, I guess. I give away some silly free kicks, but in saying that, I try and rectify those during the game, and Fags has been one of the best coaches of my career from the junior ages all the way up, so he knows how to manage me really well, and he makes sure when I come off the field he gives me a little, I guess, a kick at the bum, and then he was saying, we just get one back for us, so he's really good in that regards. But it's something that I'm working on. It's a bit of blight on my game, and I'm under no illusions. I get looked at pretty heavily in game by the umpires, no doubt, so it's one of the things I've got to keep working on.
The opposition looks like the coach's face in the axe. What do you think that does for a team's mentality?
I've been in similar situations with the coach under pressure. Obviously, Lepper here and Brett Ratton when I was at Carlton as well. So they're going through a tough time, but in saying that they're a united group, and I know a few of the players still there and they're still playing for their coach, and they want to get a win every week. When you start taking teams lightly is when they get a jump on you, and Carlton have been really good this year in terms of being competitive. They've only had really 2 blowouts this year. So we know they pushed Collingwood to probably 2 or 3 weeks ago right to the end, and they're a great team, Collingwood. So we know that they've got the performance there that they can match it with the best. And if we start worrying about results, we won't get them. So as I said before, we're talking about the process.
Is there still any fire in your belly playing Carlton, or are you sort of too far removed now to?
Yeah, it's my 5th year up at the Lions, so I guess that little chip on the shoulder's kind of wearing off a little bit. But I'll still play as though I still owe them one. So that's the way I'll play most games. But it's more about worrying about this team that I'm in now, not about my old club. So.
And I saw some vision from the weekend. You got to run out with your kids on Saturday. So how was that for you, mate?
Yeah, that's really good. I've only done it twice. In my 150th last year, I ran out with both kids, but it was a really amazing feeling, and we had a great setup. The ceremony there was awesome to hear the Indigenous dancers that were welcoming us out to the ground, and to have my 2 kids running out with me, it's one of those things that I'll always cherish. And as I said, the support that we've had from the club to have them on the field with me and get the photos and the footage I've seen so far is really amazing. So that's something that I hold dearly to my heart.
And Mitch, just lastly, we've got a special jumper this weekend recognising Kevin Murray's 50th year of the Brownlow. How do you feel wearing a jumper honouring him?
Yeah, obviously we see him a lot. He gets around the club a lot. He always wears his Brownlow, so he shows that off a fair bit when we go down to Melbourne. So it's only goes hand in hand having him on the jumper. So yeah, we'll have Bulldog Murray on the front here, and we've got a Hall of Fame dinner after the game, so it'll be pretty good to commemorate him. It's been 50 years since he last won the Brownlow, so it's the first time playing with a collared shirt too, so that's pretty cool. A little bit of the old school days, so I'm looking forward to wearing this this weekend.
Sorry, just one more then, Mitch. Just how important then every week's important to win, but when you're going into a Hall of Fame function afterwards, it's a pretty big deal this weekend for the club.
Yeah, you can't really go home and cry about it if we get a loss, so we've got to make sure that we put on a good performance next week. As I said, we'll review our game from the weekend, and we'll do a heavily scouting job. I think they've got a few players coming back from injury, so they're going to have a couple of big inclusions there. But we're just going to worry about the way we go about it when we get down to Melbourne, and hopefully put on a good performance and get a win.
Mitch, Carlton this weekend, you've got St Kilda coming up, and the fans are starting to, you know what I'm going to ask, and that's the thing, fans are starting to think, September, hello, how hard is that not to?
Internally, we know what we can do within our 4 walls. We talk about things we need to talk about, but as Fags touched on a lot, if we start worrying about results and where we're going, we think about the process, and that's the best thing with Fags. He finds a lot of positives and still some room for improvements that we need to do to match it with the best, and a lot of cliches, but we are legitimately taking it 1 week at a time, and if we look at anything past Carlton, then it'd be stupid by us. So we've got a big game this week, and another 4 points on the line, and that pushes us forward, so that's what we're worried about.